Life constantly reminds us of why some things are a need and others are measured as a want. Take, for example, the need for good health and how life reminds us in showing how fragile the human body can become. That's our focus today, health as a priority, and some regrettable results of neglecting it. Hi, I'm Theodore Henry. Welcome to Jamaica Magazine. Gems are here for everyone, regardless of age, so stick with us throughout today's read. We start with the news.
Good day, I'm Stephen McHugh, and this is your JIS News for Wednesday, July 28, 2021. The Ministry of Education has entered into a partnership with Microsoft Jamaica to provide training in digital skills and employment prospects for thousands of Jamaicans. An agreement establishing the Digital Skills for Employability program was signed on Tuesday. Under the agreement, Microsoft is financing the training of over 31,000 unemployed Jamaicans each year over a 5-year period up to 2026.
The importance of this initiative cannot be overstated. In recent years, the digital economy that has emerged has created new openings in a lot of areas. These have and are transforming the organization of labor, production, and trade around the world. The reality is, however, few students leaving our school system are ready for the available opportunities, and this is what the government of Jamaica is seeking to address.
The Education Minister says there is no age limit for the program and all levels of learners will be considered. The aim is to have persons trained in one or more of the 4 courses offered based on their level of learning.
There will be no barrier to entry. We are particularly delighted that this program aims to provide unemployed Jamaicans with the necessary digital and employability skills that are required for the 21st century. We note too that special focus will be placed on learning communication, conflict resolution, teamwork, adapting to change, generation of value, innovation, and creativity.
In other education news, the ministry is partnering with Monroe College in New York to offer scholarships to 30 Jamaican students. Both entities are financing the venture, and it was arranged with the assistance of Jamaica's Consul General to New York, Alcian Roach Wilson. The scholarships are to pursue studies in the areas of criminal justice, cybersecurity, and information technology.
And those are areas, those are developing areas where they're going to, the skills are going to be required in those areas.
The Education Minister says students will have the flexibility to utilize the scholarship through a number of mediums.
In that, students have the option to live in New York while they're taking up the scholarships for the 4 years, or they could do a combination where they remain in Jamaica, do online for 2 years, and then go to New York for 2 years, or they could go to Moneague, the Moneague hub here in Jamaica, or it could be done online, right, for the 4 years.
Minister Williams made the announcement last week as she welcomed a donation of over 1,400 laptops and tablets courtesy of Jamaica's Consul General to New York and partners. The Agriculture and Fisheries Ministry will be subsidizing the initial premium payment for the first 1,000 farmers who sign up for crop insurance coverage under the Grace Kennedy GK Weather Protect program. The insurance program was launched last Tuesday. The policy is being provided through GK Insurance and will protect the businesses of farmers and fishers against heavy rain, wind, and drought. During a function on Thursday, Agriculture Minister Floyd Green said government would be subsidizing the first 1,000 farmers' premium payment to the tune of $3,500, with women and youth receiving a subsidy of $5,000.
It is a parametric insurance scheme, which in essence means that once you pay your premium and you're covered, you decide on the level of coverage once there is a trigger event, and the trigger events are specifically stated. So if you get more than 35 centimeters of rain, then you get a payout. The payout is automatic. You don't have to do no assessment. Once you are current, you get a payout. And the payout will be made within 7 days of the event.
Minister Green gave the update on a tour of the Ready 2 cluster of greenhouses and water harvesting project in Manchester. The Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development will be exploring ways to revitalize the porous market in Manchester. Portfolio Minister Desmond McKenzie gave the commitment as he stopped at the market during a tour of South Manchester communities last Friday. The minister says he has asked the Social Development Commission, SDC, to conduct a survey to see how best the facility can be utilized.
We can't afford to spend money to fix it up and then nobody comes in. So we want to have some information that will guide the decision that will be taken as it relates to the future of the porous market.
He also pledged to continue working closely with the Manchester Municipal Corporation to ensure that the social services that are required are provided.
As a matter of fact, I am going to advise Minister Davis to include this section of South Manchester as a part of the pilot project that we are going to be rolling out for the community, the rural development built out that I announced in Parliament early this year.
And finally, Jamaica is to host the 32nd session of the Latin American and Caribbean Forestry Commission virtually from September 6 to 12 this year. Information Minister Favour Williams announced Cabinet's approval recently.
Hosting the 32nd session will highlight Jamaica's leadership and continued support and commitment to forest development and capacity building within the region. It will also increase the visibility and work of the local forestry sector and strengthen regional and international partnerships and networks with the forestry sector.
The Chief Executive Officer and Conservator of Forests in the Forestry Department will chair the session. Expected outcomes and recommendations from the session will inform the Food and Agriculture Organization, the FAO's work in forestry within the region. It will also inform the 2022 Forestry Conference in Rome and the Regional Conference for Latin America and the Caribbean. And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Stephen McHugh. Thanks for watching.
Studies have shown that one of the rarest forms of cancer is the one that attacks the bladder. But that does not negate the fact that it occurs and is no respecter of age or gender. You may not know much about this illness, and if that's the case, here's a quick rundown or a simple refresher for others.
According to the World Health Organization's World Health Ranking, someone in Jamaica is more likely to lose their life from prostate cancer, lung cancer, breast cancer, stomach, cervical, liver, uterine, and even ovary cancer before they'll ever go from bladder cancer. Now, the rarity of this illness drafted local statistics at 0.34% of the total number of deaths in the island in 2018. That's only 62 people. But of course, that's 62 people too many, and maybe, just possibly, 62,000 people not having ever heard of this disease until now.
So the bladder is a small muscular organ that is in the pelvis, deep down in the pelvis. Its purpose is really to store urine. Now, cancer, as has been said before, it refers to the unregulated abnormal growth of cells, and in this case it would be the bladder. So bladder cancer is unregulated growth, usually from the lining of the bladder, that is abnormal cell growth. So the signs and symptoms of bladder cancer, usually the commonest sign is usually hematuria. Now what hematuria is blood in the urine. So usually it's painless hematuria, maybe painful hematuria, which is pain along with blood in the urine. Also, there may be irritative bladder symptoms, or as we would say, storage, lower urinary tract symptoms. Some of these include urgency, frequency, going to the bathroom frequently, waking up often at nights, it's known as nocturia, and in general, some dysuria, which is like burning when you pass your urine.
Now, before you experience any of those symptoms, there are some causative factors that lead to bladder cancer that you may want to assess first. It simply means that while it happens, it's usually preventable.
The commonest causative factor for bladder cancer is cigarette smoking. It's actually associated with about 50 to 60% of bladder cancers. There are other risk factors which are known as occupational hazards. So individuals who work in the industries and have prolonged exposure to aromatic amines, aromatic hydrocarbons. So in the textile industry, painters, those who work with tar, amongst other occupational hazards, are at risk for bladder cancer. Patients who also have, for whatever reason, they'll have chronic irritation to the bladder. So there's a parasitic infestation known as schistosomiasis that's rarely associated with bladder cancer also. Patients who have chronic catheters, indwelling catheters, as well as bladder stones and a few other things that cause chronic irritation to the bladder.
Now, bladder cancer is very picky when it comes down to gender, with the likelihood of displaying its sprouting behavior on men more often than women. And while the data shows that you don't necessarily need to be thinking about this until you're well over your 40s, there is proof that it affects many of us who are nowhere near to collecting our pension. Wow.
The older you become is the more at risk you are. Usually not before the age of 40 that bladder cancer is seen. It's more common in the 5th to 6th decades of life, 5th, 6th, 7th decades of life. It's actually more common in men than women, and this is thought to be associated with lifestyle amongst other things. Bladder cancer is very treatable. In fact, most bladder cancers present as organ-confined disease, meaning that they're absolutely curable. The treatment options include definitely surgery. This involves what is known as a transurethral resection of the bladder to actually get diagnosis, and in some cases is curative if the tumor is completely gotten. This involves passing instruments through the urethra, which is the opening through which you pass urine from the bladder, and that allows us to see the tumor. It allows us to resect or scrape the tumor away from the bladder wall, and in some cases we may or may not give intravesical immunotherapy or chemotherapy depending on the risk of the disease. But that's usually how bladder cancer is initially treated.
So now may be a good time to just pause for a bit and think about the causes, signs, and symptoms of bladder cancer. And if you've been treated from it before, remember to get your regular checkups, because bladder cancer has a high recurrence rate. Watching from the sidelines or the confines of a bed can be a bit of a sting for some, piercing for others. So let's go stronger and healthier together by prioritizing our health.
Controlling what goes inside our bodies is important to maintaining good health. The fact that you can often control or regulate means that you have a choice. Today we're encouraging you to make the right choices in the food you consume.
Eating healthy by having a balanced diet consisting of items from all the food groups and consuming the right portions is important to get the nutrients vital for disease prevention, growth, and good health. Essential nutrients are building blocks for the cells that make up the body, from bone to muscle, skin, and hair. One of the most critical ones is protein, which is made up of different amino acids, some of which the body can make on its own. We need a variety of proteins to function properly, many of which can only come from the foods we eat. Meats, fish, and eggs are essential sources from animals, while plant sources include beans, nuts, and some grains. How much protein you need daily depends on a variety of factors, including how active you are and your age. Carbohydrates are the main nutrients for fueling the body's energy needs, especially our central nervous system and brain. They help protect against diseases, but some carbohydrates are healthier than others. Some healthy sources include your fresh produce, such as yam, banana, breadfruit, and tubers, as well as whole grains, fiber-rich vegetables, and fruits. Less healthy sources include refined grains and products with added sugar. Fats often get a bad rap, but it's important to know that healthy fats are essential to our body's function. Fats aid in vitamin and mineral absorption, blood clotting, building cells, and muscle movement. Fats are high in calories, which is a measure of energy from foods, but the World Health Organization recommends keeping daily calorie intake from fat at under 30%. Including healthy fats, which are the unsaturated fats in your diet, can help balance blood sugar, decrease the risk of heart disease and type 2 diabetes, and improve brain function. Healthy fats are also powerful anti-inflammatories and can lower the risk for arthritis, cancer, and Alzheimer's disease. Some of the well-known unsaturated fats are the omega-3 and omega-6 fatty acids. Sources of these healthy fats include fish, seeds, nuts, and vegetable oils, olive, avocado, and flax seeds. Trans fats are to be avoided, and we should also limit our intake of saturated fats, of which the main sources are animal-based and include butter, cheese, red meat, and ice cream. Vitamins are organic compounds essential for normal growth and are required in small quantities. There are 13 essential vitamins that the body needs, and these help lower the risk of diseases such as lung and prostate cancer. Vitamin A supports healthy vision, skin, and bones. Powerful antioxidants like vitamin C boost the immune system and helps the body heal. Eating a varied and well-balanced diet of fruits and vegetables should supply the body with the required vitamins. Minerals are also important nutrients needed for building strong bones and teeth. They help with regulating our body's metabolism and keeping us properly hydrated. The mineral calcium strengthens bones and teeth and helps with nerve signal transmission. It also helps to maintain healthy blood pressure and with muscle contraction and relaxation. Iron supports red blood cells and hormone creation, while the mineral zinc boosts the immune system and wound healing. The body also needs water, which improves brain function and mood, and acts as a shock absorber and lubricant in the body. Water also flushes our toxins, carries nutrients to cells, hydrates the body, and prevents constipation. Even mild dehydration can make us feel tired and impair concentration and physical performance. In addition to drinking water, we can hydrate ourselves by eating fruits and vegetables such as spinach and watermelon. Start treating your body right. As you grab your next meal, make sure you're getting all the nutrients needed in their right proportion.
I am Delroy Chuck, Minister of Justice, and with the support of the European Union, we intend to build a first-class justice system. The contribution of the European Union to the Jamaica justice system is enormous. We believe that this partnership with the European Union has been beneficial to Jamaica, and we hope that further assessment will demonstrate that the partnership between the European Union and Jamaica is one that has not only been game-changing, but will continue in the years ahead. The most significant achievement, in my opinion, was the Court of Appeal. Before the Court of Appeal was rebuilt, only 7 judges could have been appointed. Now we can appoint 12 judges, plus the President of the Court, and this will ensure that at that level in the Court of Appeal, cases will move expeditiously. It will set the tone for how we engage in backlog reduction.
Oral care is also important to maintaining good overall health. We recently sat down with a dental expert who shared with us all the whys and ways of taking care of your oral health. Here's Dr. Oswald Dunn.
Dental health is really important because the mouth is the entry point of nutrition in our bodies. And if it is not functioning properly, then we run the risk of not getting the correct nutrition. Actually, we refer more so to oral health these days than dental health. If we have bad teeth that impair our ability to chew properly, then we will tend to keep away from certain food groups that could be challenging to chew. People with bad oral hygiene, people who use and eat, drink a lot of sweets. You can have decay, and you can also have, along with it, periodontal gum disease. You know, the big one that jump out at me is periodontal disease, gum disease. That is when the gum begin to be bleedy, sore, puffy, and just generally uncomfortable. It carries some social consequences, bad breath, and you tend to lose self-confidence. It's so important to have a consultation with your dental personnel, whether the dental surgeon or the hygienist, who would be able to diagnose the needed treatment for such a condition. All sugars are bad, but everything is in moderation. The Jamaica Dental Association endorsed the efforts of the government in reducing the levels of sugar in the bottled beverages. The aim is to get it to 2.5 milligrams in 100 mils by the year 2023. It would be roughly 2.5 teaspoonful. The current level that the government has aimed for, and it was introduced the end of January, is 5 milligrams per 100 mils. So that is coming from 6.5, so it's a gradual reduction. And the taste will be not so significantly different. As a dentist, I recommend the soft, but I'm aware that a lot of patients tend towards the harder ones. It does some damage by cutting a little line at the neck of the teeth, just where the teeth meet the gum line. So we recommend the soft toothbrush. It's really important to begin by putting the brush on the gum. A lot of people avoid the gum because they tend to think that it makes the gum bleedy. It's the exact opposite. It is as a result of not brushing the gum why there is some amount of bleediness. And you should brush in the direction of growth. The top ones, you brush them down in a circular motion, and the bottom ones, you brush them up, covering all surfaces. Don't forget your tongue and, as I said before, the gum itself. Flossing is very, very important. If you try to imagine that the toothbrush does not get between the teeth, the only thing that can remove the material that will accumulate between the teeth would be the dental floss. The technique is also important. Hold it short, get it past that little tight area, and gently bring it down into the gum, that little crevice of the gum, and remove it. Remove material that might have accumulated there. And we recommend 6 monthly checkup. If you have If you tend to be prone to decays, we would really like to see you every 6 months. If you have been checked and you are pretty much okay, a yearly visit would be adequate. Extraction really is the last resort. With regular examination, we can pick up using x-rays and visual examination early decays, and these can be effectively dealt with by regular fillings. If it has gone too far and it is now in the nerve, there are other procedures called root canals that can be done, and sometimes we need to cover the entire tooth with a crown to bring it back to usefulness. If your teeth are malaligned, just not aesthetically pleasing, or are causing some kind of effect on your body, then they should be straightened. Orthodontic treatment or braces simply mean moving the teeth through bone to put them in a more harmoniously pleasing position. It's important because you are moving teeth through bone, and the harmony between the joint, the soft tissues and the teeth must be respected. Not respecting it can result in pain in the joint, headaches, and just a general sense of discomfort in your mouth. It's important to visit your dentist regularly and without fear, because with new technology, and we now have many new dentists in our system, where it's not difficult to get an appointment to see a dentist on a regular basis. There's always a needle, but outside of that, there's absolutely no pain.
Today is being observed as World Hepatitis Day under the theme, Hepatitis Can't Wait. Truth is, its treatment, testing, or even eroding its stigmas really can't wait. That's why this day is so important. It gives us an opportunity to step up individual, national, and international efforts to raise awareness of hepatitis. And while we think about achieving all that, here are some general facts on the condition. Number one, there are over 300 million people in the world that live with viral hepatitis. Only a few people with the virus are aware that they even have the infection, and the prevalence rates of hepatitis continue to vary throughout the world, with some areas having rates higher than 10%. Number two, hepatitis B and hepatitis C are transmitted through blood. Now, while we do not encourage stigma and discrimination in any way, avoid sharing IV needles and syringes, razor blades, toothbrushes, that sort of thing, bodily fluids, avoid it. Number three, hepatitis B, C, and D can lead to chronic liver disease and liver cancer. Many people can continue to have a healthy and normal life without realizing their liver is being damaged. If you are at risk, you should see your doctor for regular checkups. And number four, hepatitis B can be treated. Treatment is available in the form of an oral tablet, so if you are living with hepatitis B, your doctor will assess whether you need treatment based on blood tests, your history, and other test results. We're simply providing you with the information you need to make better health choices and help make Jamaica the place of choice to live, work, raise families, and do business. After all that learning, we put the final pause here for today's show. Thanks for sticking through the Jamaica Magazine journey. A refresher can be had through the JIS's YouTube channel, and you can also visit the JIS's Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter pages for much more information. From all of us here at the JIS, I'm Theodore Henry. See you soon.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.